Hello and welcome back. If this is your first time here, I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education, and I'm looking through the markets, looking for opportunities to make some cash. And I'm sharing that information, those opportunities that I find with you. Now, your investment choices are your own. I do want to say that I looked at SOFI's chart today. Absolutely loved what I saw. So I'm going to share that with you guys in this video. I do have a question before we get started. What pepper could not be an archer? Something different from my other videos, put the answer to the riddle, if you know it, down in the comments. I will give that answer, but I'm going to hold off for the next video. If you don't like that, yeah, you can just thank my wife. I'm throwing her under the bus. She is the one who came up with that idea of not always giving the answer right away. Now, to serious business, to talk about SoFi, I do want to say in this video, I will be showing the Moo app and using the link down in the description. You can get up to 16 free stocks. More about that later. In the meantime, I do want to get right into a SoFi. So I was going through checking through some different stocks, and SoFi is a company that I am a long-term investor in, that I do have a substantial position with SoFi already. And I'm going to talk, as we see the charts, about how I'm playing that currently. Now, even though I am an investor in SoFi, I still think that there are significant trading opportunities to be had. In other words, the whole buy and sell sort of things rather than buy and hold like an investor would do. So let me bring up the chart, and we will talk about what I see with SoFi with its recent price action. So first of all, let me zoom way out so we can see the sort of ride that SoFi has been on. All the hype train that we had about SoFi with all the different growth stocks and stuff, and we all know what 2022 was like. And then we look more recently, we finally started crossing back up above the 200-day, had a little bit of a rough patch going through there. And well, then since then, we've had our actual golden cross moment and have risen substantially. So I know I talked about SoFi in the past and most recently. So let me see here. I have May 31st, I put a video out when we first got this candle. Whoa, my goodness. By the way, I live streamed with Stockmo earlier today. Check out that live stream. I'll put that link down in the description. I'm still not coordinated. I called this this candlestick right here like a birthday candle. Such a present to those of us who are investors, possibly even as some traders. And then I said that we could see a little bit of retracement. I thought we could see it back down to maybe 650 or even 630. It never pulled back that hard. It actually just kept on rising. We pulled back to about let me see, the low price on here, 663 is where we bottomed out before we started rising. And then I made another video. That video came out, I believe, let me see. It was 614. I put that video out where we popped up over $9 per share, and I said that we would sooner see $8 a share before we saw well over $10 per share. So we actually peaked out at 10.23, and then we came back down, and we actually sat just for a little bit back down below that $8 mark. So when I saw this sharp rise that we had, I was selling call options on that, and what that did was at 100 share allotments for every call option contract that I wrote, I was able to collect that premium. I actually had it set up at $10.50, so that allowed me to keep a hold of my shares, but also get that premium. Options expired, all that premium is mine, and the shares are still mine. So that was a really nice way to play that one. And then watching it come back down, I was actually able to sell some puts on the way down that allowed me to also increase my position, but at a lower cost basis. So it was kind of fun to play that game. And I did say that we would find hard resist. I'm sorry, actually I did say hard resist, but I meant hard support. Find hard support right around the $8 mark. And that's pretty much what we have. So I can put my line on here, my cursor on here, and that is right around the $8 where you see those two bottoms. And I actually have, we go down to the weekly chart. I have these lines, and if I zoom in, there we go. I believe I shared this. If I didn't share this on YouTube, I shared this over in the Patreon. That link is down in the description, that we'd have a hard resist at $10 per share. And so far, we've just barely peekabooed up above that resistance and just failed to break it. And that, again, that's looking at the weekly chart. And you can see the bull pennant that we had shape up and that break up above that yet on the weekly chart. If we go back out to the daily chart, now, are we going to see this double top hold steady and drop us back down to 8? I don't know. Or are we going to ride this up? If we zoom out a little bit more, it definitely has a bull flag or a bull pennant type shape. And we'll see if we break this top line on 10 and keep on rising. I think that's a possibility. I think it's also a possibility that we pull back down to $8. Either way, that's a big move. And how I'm playing this one is with a long straddle option position where I buy calls and I buy puts, but for the same strike price, same expiration date, and expect that volatility. So that's why I wanted to bring it here to YouTube to talk about it sort of as a short-term volatility play where I expect this thing to break in either direction. So wanted to bring that out there because I do expect a big move for SoFi in the coming days. Now today, as of this recording, it is July 24th. We are 1 week out from SoFi earnings. So this thing could continue to kind of oscillate a little bit up until we get those earnings. So I think within the next week, and those earnings, by the way, are Monday, July 31st, before the market opens. So we'll have the earnings and then we get the price action following those earnings on Monday, the 31st. So that's also important to know that looking forward from here. Like I said, down in the description, you can find a link to get up to 16 free stocks using my link that's down in the description. You're helping out the channel, but you're also, more importantly to you, helping out yourself. And so here are the deposit amounts that you can do. $100, $1,000, $5,000 is where you get those 16 free stocks. So 15 of them valued from $2 up to $2,000 a piece. And that's true for any tier that you have, those stock prices that are there. $50 cash rewards at each tier, and then a free share of Tesla, which, by the way, I'm highly bullish on Tesla, and I put out extensive videos and extensive research on that one, or EXPE with that $5,000 deposit. So that's enough of that. I want to transition out of there. Let me actually pop it over back to my beautiful face. There you go. And I want to bring up the mobile version of it. So let me show that up on screen. And this isn't the full screen. I actually have it enlarged a little bit, so you're seeing the top, I don't know, 40%, maybe top 60% of my screen that I have on here. But you can see it's live for you. So here's a look at the Moomoo mobile app. So this is where you land, the landing page, if you will, when you open it. So this is the Markets tab. And if you actually tap on the US tab at the top of that, and go to the top, it shows you the 3 major indices, Dow Jones, NASDAQ, and the S&P, advancers, gainers, and you have your screeners and all sorts of useful tools. I want to focus on the earnings reports tab that's here. So if you tap on that earnings reports tab, it shows you by day, and it tries to highlight the bigger companies that people are going to be interested in. And if we scroll down all the way to July 31st, you'll see SoFi pop up, and you'll see that my calendar is currently that orange icon where the others are gray. That's because I want to be notified as that comes out. So that's been added to my calendar just by tapping on it. And if I tap on SoFi, it tells us about the closing price today as the market is now closed, $9.45, and moved a little bit in the after hours. There's a little text under that, and it will show you the chart. You also have an options, comments, news, and company tab. When you tap on the company tab, that's where you start to find out about their projected earnings. So tapped on the company tab, and it shows us one of the cool features I think that they have is the revenue breakdown. It also shows us that they have a 42, almost 43% revenue gain on a year-over-year basis. That is something that has declined a little bit. However, we have the end of the student loan moratorium. So student loans coming in should be something to help be a tailwind for those revenues, and should also be a tailwind for pushing those earnings per share up to profitability. So we're looking for that for Q4 of this year. So this is just the second quarter. So that means that we still need to hit the third report and the fourth report. So it's really important to listen for that guidance that we have. So they have a revenue breakdown that's pretty simple, pretty cool to look at. And here's the neat thing to look at for SoFi is that even though their EPS are still negative, they are rising, and they've also beat consensus the last 3 earnings reports that they put out. So it's highly likely that they also beat the consensus again. So we're looking for that. Right now, it's the consensus is about a loss of 6 cents per share. So hopefully we get that beat, and hopefully it's above the loss of 5 cents per share that we got during the last 2 quarters. So if you move on from there, you get other financial indicators, earnings per share, return on equity, free cash flows, all that kind of stuff is there for you. And then you can see more about their income statement, operating profit, and net income, which right now they don't have an operating profit. So if we tap on that one, no data available, and their net income you can see is still negative. So this is a speculative investment on my part, being as they are a profitless company and do not yet return to me. So it is something that, even though it is a big speculative play for me, it's not one that's the majority of my portfolio. And that's important to balance it in that way, that there still is significant risk for a company that doesn't yet make a profit, although one that I believe will continue to be a growth story over time. And that's why it does have my endorsement, my investment in the first place. So that's the Moomoo app on mobile. And I hope that by taking that look at it, that some of you at least were inspired to check it out, see what you think of it. And if you get the sign up using my link down in the description, excellent. And if you decide not to use it and you have a trading platform that you're comfortable with, that's cool too. This channel is about opportunity. I try and find everything I can because the only way that this channel grows is through continued addition of value and service. So as much as I can put that to the maximum extent possible, that's exactly what I'm going to do. So thank you guys for watching this video. Let me know down in the comments what you think about SoFi. Do you think that we're going to see early profitability? Do you think that it's going to be something where the can gets kicked down the road a little bit, that there's going to be roadblocks in the way? What do you expect from earnings coming up? Do you think that we're actually going to pop off the top of this bull flag that's building up here, or are we going to fail to break it because we tested $10 and retested $10 and failed to break that both times? Are we going to revisit 8? What do you think is going to happen? Let me know down in the comments. Either way, I expect volatility. And so as a trade play, as an options play, I am banking on that volatility to come out of SoFi and pay out to me. So we'll see if that happens. If it does, I will let you know. Thanks again for watching. I am Dr. Stock, Doctor of Education. Remember, my friends, learning is earning, and we'll see you in the next video.